Chapter 6. Pac. Biggie took over East Coast hip-hop, and Sean was the brilliant mind that orchestrated it. He hired people to teach Chris how to write his flow and his lyrics. He hired the best producers to do the beats, although he took credit for them, and the music was unstoppable. At this point, Sean was sleeping with all the power players, and everyone that wanted to do music wanted to be a bad boy. Sean wheeled and dealed in a way that would have been unthinkable to many. He slept with the guys that really controlled the music to stay on top. A lot of the names average people have never heard of. These are the guys that make the decisions on who's winning and who is not. He hosted parties that were just a fancy name for orgies, and everyone wanted in. When I met Tupac, Sean and I had an open relationship. And yes, I slept with Pac. Shit, he was sexy. Sean didn't mind. Well, not until he tried to get Pac to join us both. Pac was not good with that. This is where the relationship between them became strained. Tupac wasn't going to accept Sean's advances. Pac wasn't gay, and he was pissed about the advances. We were all in Sean's house. I was drinking, they were smoking, and everyone was just relaxing. Sean came in on what I'm sure he would call a smooth approach. My baby is bad, isn't she? Pac threw me a sly smile. Hell yeah. I felt myself blush. Sean was now in full swing. You think you hit it better than me? I couldn't believe he disrespected me that way. I was not playing with my response. Sean, what the fuck? Pac came to my defense. Damn, bro, you ain't got to do the sister that way. Tupac appeared upset behind Sean's words, but Sean went in for the kill, regardless. I think my dick's bigger than yours. I bet I can make her come faster than you. What's up? Pac was appalled. What the fuck are you talking about, nigga? I ain't running no fucking train. Sean continued. What are you scared of? Let's see who fucks better. Let her be the judge. Yes, at this point, we had been inviting others into our bed for a while, but I'm not used to and will not stand for disrespect. I wasn't the only one upset. Pac shouted, Nigga, you talking about pulling your fucking dick out? Sean was undaunted. What, you scared? Tupac simply left. Things were contentious since then. The two could not be in the same room. Pac avoided me as much as he did Sean. When they did bump into each other, the tension was palpable. It felt like blows could be thrown at any moment. Months passed with only tension between them. It was uncomfortable, but nothing life or death. Then one day, while we were at the studio, it happened. I walked into Sean's office and he was having the conversation. Sean sat across from Jimmy Henchman. Pac don't leave that fucking studio alive. I don't think I was supposed to hear it. I continued as if I didn't. Hey Sean, good morning Jimmy. They didn't think that I had heard anything. I'm ordering breakfast. Smiling, Sean replied, Let me get eggs sunny side up with grits and an orange juice. I could see he was hungover. Good. I don't want him knowing I know anything. If he just put a hit on Pac, knowing something could be dangerous. Jimmy, apparently not hungry, said, Nothing for me. As he stood to exit the room, he said to Sean, Let's make that happen. Then nodded to me and said, Kim, always a pleasure. With a wink to me and a nod to Sean. He turned and walked out. Jimmy was a part of our intimate circle. I went on as if nothing was happening. I'll make the call now. I smiled as I left, hoping I wasn't as white as a sheet. I wasn't in the studio the night Pac survived being shot, thank God. From what I understand, Sean and Chris saw Pac at the studio after he'd been shot and did nothing. The way God works. After being shot, Pac made it to the elevator and tried to escape, but it stopped at the floor that Sean and Chris were on. When the doors opened, they saw him lying in the elevator floor, riddled with bullets. The fact that they didn't call an ambulance, although they saw Pac lying there, swimming in a pool of his own blood, would be all the evidence Pac ever needed. He, of course, assumed they placed the hit. And Tupac is a soldier. This is not something that will go unanswered. Tupac didn't do well. He lost a testicle, but he survived. It was orchestrated, and Sean Puffy Combs was the orchestrator. Chapter 7. Threats. At this point, I knew I had to get away from him, but I was scared. Is he going to take my life if I try to escape? One February evening, I thought I found my opportunity at dinner after an event. We were at a ritzy restaurant in a private booth. It was an exclusive setup. We were alone, but we were in public. Perfect. Sean was on the phone talking to an unknown listener as he sat down. His words on that call will be etched in my mind forever. We're going to release Who Shot Ya now. He waited for a response, then went on to say, of course they're going to think Big was talking about Pac. That's the whole fucking point. Nobody would give a fuck about a diss track against LL fucking Cool J. Do you know how much money we'll make from this kind of rap beef? Niggas battling after someone really got shot? This may not be the best time for the conversation. Sean was finishing up. We drop that shit tomorrow. He listened into the phone, then responded, there's gonna be blood in the street. Niggas missed. Tupac's alive. Let's capitalize on that shit. When he responds, it's just gonna mean more money. He turned around and looked at me. Spoke back into the phone. I'll call you back. Then hung up and spoke to me. What's wrong? I tried my best to give a fake smile at what I'd heard. After all, me and Pac were intimate. I responded, nothing. Sean wasn't fooled. Are you sure? His demeanor was threatening, but I responded as cool as I could muster to his intimidating stare. Yeah, of course. He took my hand, saying, that's wonderful. He began to squeeze my hand until it hurt as he continued. Because seeing you walk in the office while I was talking about killing that motherfucker and you not saying shit to me just had me a little concerned. His grip was starting to hurt badly. You're hurting me. As he continued, he squeezed tighter. Your pretending you didn't hear anything was a sign of your loyalty to me, not something I should be concerned with, right? I had no choice but to give him the answer he wanted. I knew I was trapped when I responded, of course, I'm loyal to you. He let me go as he responded, good. And remember, I'm the big dick. I snatched my hand back in pain. He smiled and said, let's start off with a good wine. He snapped his fingers and his favorite wine was poured for him. They knew what Sean wanted. And what he wanted, he got. I'm trapped. Now isn't the time for me to launch my escape plan. I have to be strategic. It's going to be hard to leave the glamour, the glitz, the lifestyle. I mean, this man just snapped his fingers in one of the most exclusive restaurants in New York City, and they poured his favorite drink of choice. The bottle of wine was $800, and this is in 1994. The list to get in this place is 6 months long, if you're somebody. Mayor Giuliani had a table here tonight, also. If I got up and walked out, I would be safe. But what about tomorrow? I had to think. He sipped his wine and smiled. You're not drinking? He pointed at my glass, and of course a waiter filled it. They knew what I liked as well. Sean had a bad temper. He yells sometimes, and okay, he's roughed me up once or twice, but he never punched me, he never bruised me, and he never hit Quincy. I would not have stood for that. He never laid a hand on my son. At that time, I never thought of him touching Quincy in any way. Then the significance of what he said hit me. Is he mad at Tupac over me? I'm the big dick. Oh my God. The last time he put his hands on me, it was because I enjoyed Jamie Foxx too much. Shit, he enjoyed Jamie Foxx too. He gets so insanely jealous, it's not fair. He wants to bring other men into our bedroom, but gets jealous when he does. Damn, you're quiet, he said, snapping me back into the present. I asked the question that was burning in my mind since I walked into that office. What does Chris think of this? He looked at me coolly and said, his fat ass just better keep doing music. A third guest was escorted over by security. Sean motioned for him to sit. A waiter walked over to Sean Carter and asked, would you like something? Carter responded, no thank you. Then said, hello, to me with a smile. Smiling, I replied, hey Carter, and took a sip of my drink. The Seans may share a bed together from time to time, but thankfully, I was never asked to join. Carter went on to speak to Sean. I thought we were meeting in private. Sean replied with a nonchalant shrug. I had to discuss something with her. It's fine, go ahead. He wielded that kind of power. Carter shifted uncomfortably in his chair before continuing. It's true. Chris and Pac were starting a label. We're starting their own label. Sean slammed his fist against the table, shouting, doesn't anyone have any fucking loyalty? Carter. Well, that's not happening now, right? Sean peered at Carter with distrust. Why the fuck are you eager to share this with me? Chris is your man. Fuck. He brought you on. And you're stabbing him in the back? Carter responded with indignity. First, I'm tired of being that nigga's son. I need to come out from under his damn shadow. Sean smiled slightly. Okay, I respect that. Carter kept going. On top of that, this nigga is making that move, and it should have been with me. Sean looked at Carter blankly. Pac put Chris on. You know this. What's this really all about, Carter? Don't fucking try to play me. The Jay-Z of today wasn't born yet. This young Sean Carter was in over his head. Cornered. He had to spill it out. I want his spot. Ambition. Now this is a man I can work with. Sean made a grandiose gesture toward Carter. Waiter, get this motherfucker whatever he wants. Carter smiled. Thank you. Sean responded, honesty and ambition. We're gonna make a lot of bread together. Carter ordered a drink as he started again. Guess he won't be leaving that nigga to do his own label now. Sean responded with his normal air of arrogance. Why don't you let me worry about that? I took this as my cue to escape. I told Sean, I'm going to go ahead and get back to Quincy. Sean was wrapped up in his conversation with Carter and barely noticed as he excused me. Have the limo drop you off. We didn't eat. He didn't care. I smiled and kissed him on the cheek and left. Chapter 8. Kidada. Actress, model, and fashion designer. Kidada Jones was Tupac Shakur's fiancée and is the daughter of record producer Quincy Jones and Peggy Lipton. Being around other celebrities was just a part of life. Meeting Kidada was just one of those events, and as time went on, we became close. We hung out together, went shopping, and so on. It was about the same time I met Kimura. Those were the days, or so I thought. We always had girl talk, and the fact that she was dating someone I had previously been with wasn't a source of contention. We didn't get jealous of each other. It was just girl talk stuff. No, I did not become intimate with Kidada. Kimura was too jealous for that. Yes, Kidada knew about Kimura, Sean, and I all being together sexually. Of course she did. We shared that kind of thing. We were open and honest about almost everything. A true friendship, except I couldn't be open and honest about everything. Not anymore. Sean made sure of that. Kidada and Pac were the greatest couple. He was always so cool and sexy. She was so beautiful and fun. Before all the tension and beef, we used to all hang out together. But with Pac's shooting and the suspicions surrounding Sean and Jimmy, The vibes between Kadada and I weren't always perfect. Then came that night. Award shows weren't anything new for us. At this point, we dialed up as the men groomed. We didn't choose what we wore. A stylist prepared our color palettes. A makeup artist did our makeup, and a hairstylist did our hair. This was just the way of things. We shared the best stylist in the business. Sometimes we would go to the studio for an event to get our measurements taken, but this time Kadada seemed different. I felt like something was wrong. But when I probed her, she wouldn't say anything. Then, the day of the event was here. We would all see each other inside. Even though Sean was my man, as far as props, I had nothing on Kadada. Being Quincy Jones's daughter had its perks, and superstardom was among them. Pac wasn't there. When she saw us, she came over to our table. We sat around kicking it in a very dope vibe. Sean knew he was going to clean up at this award show. He had taken over the East Coast musically. With all of his hits, there was no way he wouldn't. Bad Boy is Hall of Fame now. And Sean P. Diddy Combs knew it. Sean smiled at Kadada as she sat at our table, but something about that smile didn't seem genuine. Soon, I would know why. He's sick when he has a grudge against someone. As she sat, Sean said, "Bad Boy is going to clean up." From his table with Faith, Chris replied, "Hell yeah. And that new shit we busting out, gonna have them niggas sick." Kadada signaled for the waiter to pour her a glass of her ginger ale that sat over at her table. As the waiter refreshed her drink, she said, "Pac's music is gonna get some love too." Sean grimaced. "Oh, come on, Sean. I know y'all got y'all differences, but you have to admit, the man makes great music." Sean looked at me out of the corner of his eye, then took another sip of his favorite cognac, and replied, "Bad Boy got the hottest music on the fucking planet. But I ain't tripping. Everybody gotta get their shine, right?" Kadada sighed. "Sean, Tupac thinks you were involved with him getting shot. The two of you are so close. You need to make this right." Sean responded indignantly, "Why the fuck would that nigga think I had anything to do with it?" Kadada retorted, "Sean, you can't blame him." Sean was obviously not happy with the question by his reply. "Hell yeah, I blame him. We had a good thing going, all of us. That nigga turned on me, and he has the fucking balls to blame me for his shooting." The indignity he managed to spew out while lying through his teeth was something I did not expect. I was thrown back for a moment before interjecting. Do we have to do this tonight? It's Sean's big night." Kimura heard the ruckus and made her way over to our table as well. She sat down and said, "Hey, everybody," with that big dimple smile. I smiled and replied, "Hey." Kadada also seemed happy to see her as she said, "Hey, what's up, Kimmy?" Kimura, never the type to hold her tongue, went straight at it. "The whole place is buzzing with the fact that you're sitting here accusing Sean of having Pac shot. Y'all kinda loud." She laughed. Kadada seemed embarrassed as she looked around to see everybody staring and whispering. But she wasn't about to back off. In fact, she doubled down. "Anybody here not talking about it ain't real anyway. We all know Sean was behind it." Kimura forced a smile. "Honey, we don't have to do this here." Kadada made clear that she was not to be silenced as she continued. "Oh, let's not hurt the feelings of Sean Puffy Combs. He only had one of the most prolific rappers in the game shot." Sean clenched his hands into fists. If this was anyone else, this would have turned ugly. But this was Quincy Jones's daughter. Sean was a monster in the streets, well feared by men that knew, but he did not want any smoke with that Quincy Jones could bring. Kidada could continue with impunity. Sean could not touch her. Christopher and Mary, both wanting to defend the super producer that made them famous, started to stand and make their way over to the table. But Sean signaled them off with a firm motion of his hand. They remained in their seats watching helplessly. Kidada seemed to be on a full rampage. "You're not safe in the streets, Sean. You think you're untouchable." Kimura seemed almost red in the face when she grabbed Kidada by the hand, saying, "I gotta go to the restroom." Kidada, not willing to stop, snatched her hand back, yelling, "Let go of me." Kimura needed her to get a grip and said sternly, as a parent speaking to a child, mid-tantrum, "Die." Kidada turned to her and yelled, "What?" Kimura nodded toward the crowded room, and Kidada looked around. Here she deflated slightly. Kimura, now in control, spoke firm but softly, "Let's go powder our nose." Kidada nodded with a grimace and gave a sharp look back at Sean as she walked away. As the tension slowly melted away, I asked Sean, "You okay?" Sean didn't reply at first. He looked around, saw that no one was really paying attention now that the ruckus had died down, and stood up to get the pitcher of ginger ale from Kidada's table. He poured himself a drink from it, looked around again, saw no one was paying attention, and put the pitcher under the table. What was he doing? Then I heard a distinct sound of liquid being poured into liquid. Oh my God. Is he peeing in the pitcher? He smiled at me and brought the pitcher back from under the table and finally replied to me, "I'm good." He then stood and returned the pitcher to the table. I was in awe. I knew he had a bad temper, but this was disgusting. I'll never eat or drink after we have an argument again. Kidada and Kimura made their way back to Kidada's table to sit. As Sean watched on quietly, Sean made small talk. "Which song do y'all think they're going to give me an award for?" As Kidada poured her drink, Sean's bodyguard made his way over to the table. I think he stopped her from drinking, as everyone else just sat and watched. Jean risked incurring Sean's wrath. "If I'm right?" Relieved, I replied. "Babe, your catalog is crazy. It could be a lot of songs." Sean glared at Kidada's table the entire night. Chapter 9. Sean was getting to the real reason he had XXXX. We had a wild night. It was the world was about to lose Biggie. Parties. Everyone was there, and we not only had three. "You a cold motherfucker." But we also swapped partners. Sean said, "Our sex life Why the fuck crazy. Should I protect someone that isn't going to stick around?" Sean, I would have never been able to do with a straight That man. Nigga should be worshiping the ground I fucking walk on. But it was becoming more and more obvious that he preferred men. Ugly head. I wanted to get out of there, but instincts more to cover his wild desires. I need to tread carefully. Then because my next move had to be calculated to be with me. I don't really want a part of this. He was like Caesar. Every woman, not even a man, implicitly, and every man's woman. I was just dragged right into the middle of it. At that stage, I was becoming okay with happening here. I woke up and left the bedroom. Will I be held as an Jada Pinkett? But even as though happened to be coming out of the bedroom, I couldn't just pretend this was okay. So I asked Smith. But Sean, yes, he hasn't left yet. They're just the parties from time to time. Are you going to let him die because of some rumors? Kind of snuggled up in the bed together. Sean glared at me. I was grateful. The anger was in his voice, obviously steaming from hurt. I didn't really like XXX. I know when I'm being betrayed. Sean smiled when he saw me. "Good morning. I am not killing anyone. Here at the orgies. He wasn't very affectionate. But I am not protecting someone that doesn't have my back 150%. He couldn't walk straight. That. I knew how his railing felt, out of control. Literally. My mind began to race, playing with each other's. Is there a way to get through to him? I wanted to be home before the finance route. So Sean, I told him, I'm getting ready to go. Money. He responded, "You put so much money into cultivating him." This meant he wanted to throw away all that money. That's when he revealed I didn't know what it was about. Throughout but this in this meeting, situation, I didn't really have a choice. He was becoming more violent when he didn't get what he wanted, and I didn't really want to fight. So
Sean was
I
getting
sat
to
down,
the real reason he
but
had
before we started,
XXXXX.
the world was about to
the
lose
room.
Biggie.
Sean was wearing boxers.
XXXX
was
you
in
a
his
cold
birthday
motherfucker.
suit.
XXX addressed
Why the
us
fuck should I protect
morning
someone that isn't gonna stick
when he turned
around
in
I
order to
made
close
him.
the door.
That nigga should be worshiping the ground.
There was a
I
dried
fucking
cum
walk on.
stain on his
I was
back.
thinking, Sean's ego is rearing its ugly head.
XXXX walked over,
And I wanted to get
pulled
out
a
of
chair
there,
out to
but
sit down next
instincts
to us,
told me
and lit up a
I
blunt.
need to tread carefully.
So
Sean stretched.
my next move
smiled,
had to be
and said,
calculated. This East
I don't
Coast
really
West
want a
Coast
part of
beef
this.
is more lucrative than I thought.
Not even,
but it's getting dangerous.
implicitly. But I was just
dragged right into the middle of it, surprised. If what was happening, business first thing in the morning, here ever
Damn,
comes
cuz,
you own it.
will I be held as an accomplice? But even as those thoughts crossed my mind,
But you know
I
you
couldn't
don't
just
got nothing to
pretend
worry
this was
about.
okay.
You got to pass,
So I
Daddy.
asked, but Sean,
He hasn't left yet.
smiled.
They're
Coyly.
just rumors.
Sean apparently
Are you
had
gonna let
something
him
to
die
talk
because
about
of some rumors?
with XXX as well.
Sean glared at me
Because he said,
the anger
I
in
can't
his
protect
voice
everybody,
obviously steaming,
especially
from
if
hurt, as
someone
he
is
said.
no longer going to be on my
I
label.
know when I'm being betrayed.
It was apparent XXXX was taken aback
I am not
by
killing
this turn
anyone,
of events. By his
but
reply,
I am not protecting
Sean,
someone
are you saying
that doesn't have
what
my
I think
back
you're saying?
150%.
Sean continued.
Fuck that.
It's taxing on my
This
resources
was
to
railing
protect
out of
people.
control. My
Someone
mind
that
began to
isn't
race.
100% on my team
Is there
can't
a
get
way to get through to
100% of
him?
my protection.
Maybe I could use the finance route.
What the hell is going
Sean,
on here?
He's bringing
What does
in
Sean
so
want
much
from
money.
me?
You
This
put so
morning
much
is
money
turning
into
out to be
cultivating
way
him.
more than I expected.
Are you going to throw away all
and
that
I
money?
have to go. Quincy will be
That's
looking
when
for
he
me.
revealed how.
Meanwhile,
Throughout this meeting,
XXXX apparently wanted clarity. So, to be clear, if something happened, XXXX made quotation
Sean
marks
was
with
getting
his
to the
fingers
real reason he
to
had
one of your artists that was leaving
the world was
your
about
label
to lose
anyway.
Biggie. It would be considered
XXXX laughed.
he makes
You a
another set of
cold
quotation
motherfucker.
marks
Sean said,
out of your control.
Why the fuck should I protect someone that
Is that
isn't
what you're
gonna
saying?
stick around? I made
Wait a
him.
minute.
That nigga should be worshiping
Can they
the
be
ground
talking
I
about
fucking
Biggie?
walk on. Is Sean
I was
saying he
thinking,
won't
Sean's
protect
ego
Biggie
is rearing its
at
ugly
this
head.
point?
And I wanted to get
I
out
was
of
too
there,
young,
but
too
instincts
naive,
told me
too hungover
I need to tread
to understand that this was
So,
not a lack of
my
protection.
next move had to be calculated.
This was a hit. I don't really want a part of this. Where did this come
Not
from
even
this morning?
implicitly.
But
an
I was
older,
just
wiser me
dragged
understands
right into
now
the middle of it.
what I did not comprehend at
If
all
what
those
was
days.
Sean was getting to the real reason he had XXXX there. The world was about to lose Biggie. XXXX laughed. You a cold motherfucker. Sean said, why the fuck should I protect someone that isn't gonna stick around? I made him. That nigga should be worshiping the ground I fucking walk on. I was thinking, Sean's ego is rearing its ugly head. And I wanted to get out of there, but instincts told me I need to tread carefully. So, my next move had to be calculated. I don't really want a part of this. Not even implicitly. But I was just dragged right into the middle of it. If what was happening here ever comes out, will I be held as an accomplice? But even as those thoughts crossed my mind, I couldn't just pretend this was okay. So I asked, but Sean, he hasn't left yet. They're just rumors. Are you going to let him die because of some rumors? Sean glared at me, the anger in his voice obviously steaming from hurt as he said, I know when I'm being betrayed. And I am not killing anyone, but I am not protecting someone that doesn't have my back 150%. Fuck that. This was railing out of control. My mind began to race. Is there a way to get through to him? Maybe I could use the finance route. Sean, he's bringing in so much money. You put so much money into cultivating him. Are you going to throw away all that money? That's when he revealed how thought out this meeting really was. If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him. Sean sighs. But if I can't protect him and something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off his death would blow away all the money we've made so far. I was perplexed. Sean, he continued, he's worth more to me dead than alive. Sean Combs is a calculated monster. XXXX chimes in. I get that, fam. A lot of people out there want Biggie dead, too. Without your protection, he doesn't stand a chance in Cali. Biggie is going to die. This is crazy. I dare not say anything else about it. Sean smiles and stands to walk over to a safe behind a picture. There, he pulls out a bag marked with XXXX's name. He turns to XXXX and says, "That's why you're worth your weight in gold. You understand me. Here's a little something for you to take care of my people." XXXXX smiles. Sean, I love you, baby. You know I got your back. Your problems are my problems. I'll make sure to have my people take care of your people. I need to get out of here. This is crazy. I attempted to leave again. Sean, I want to get to Quincy before he wakes up. Sean looks at me responding, "It's getting late. Give him a kiss for me. I'm going to get out of here." Thank God. XXX, always with something to say. I'd love to meet the little tyke sometime. Not a chance in hell. Something about this guy creeps me out. I forced a smile. That would be great. I made an exit. Chapter 10. The Lies You Tell. At this point, the relationship between Sean and I had been off and on for quite a while, and we were off at this point. He had put his hands on me again, this time for something that didn't even happen. It was all in his head. When the phone rang, I picked it up anyway. "Hi, Sean." He sounded trepidatious as he said, "We've been broken up for a while this time." "Yeah," he continued. "I don't want anyone to know about my..." He paused to search for the right words. "Proclivities," I replied. "So you don't want people to know about you being gay?" Sean exploded. "See, that's why the fuck I lose control on you." So I just plainly stated, "Goodbye, Sean." "Wait," he screamed. "What, Sean?" "I'm sorry, okay? You're always fucking sorry." He took a deep breath. "I have to do something to cover myself." I sighed. "Do whatever you fucking want, Sean. When you see this in the news, it's not real." This made me calm down a moment. What could he be talking about? He continued. "I'm only doing this for the press." "Doing what, Sean?" After a long pause, he continued. "She knows what this is. She is just pretending to cover me." "Sean, what the hell are you talking about?" Another pause. "Publicly, I'm going to be dating someone else, a video girl." I laughed. "Why would you do that?" "I have to cover myself." I was getting mad. I was actually angrier at myself more than at him. Why was I getting jealous? I was sitting there actually comparing myself to a video vixen in my mind. They are thick, but look at my body. Did he prefer them light-skinned, big-butt girls from videos? I calmed myself. No. I know he likes men, any damn way. As I regained control, I asked, "Why the hell are you telling me?" He sighed. "I wanted you to find out from me first. Like I gave a shit." He came at me with his favorite line. "You know I love you." It was getting old. I could only think to myself, here we go. Love is a big, strong word. I'm tired of him throwing it around, using it when it fits his needs. He's using it while he's sitting here telling me about dating someone else. I replied, "You don't hit people you love, Sean. Love doesn't hurt." He sucked his teeth as he responded, "Come on. Are you serious? That shit's for children. We aren't in fucking high school. Sometimes things happen." "That doesn't mean I don't love you. I wouldn't hit you if I didn't." Wait. That sounded wrong. "You said exactly what you meant." He took a breath. There was an awkward silence. The fact that I was still on the phone and wanting for him to speak meant he had the power. He was more cautious as he continued. He didn't want to lose the power. Kim, no one that I don't care about can bring that kind of emotion out of me. I wanted to say, is that how you talk to the dudes after butt plugs? But there is a line I dare not cross. Instead, I said, you say that while you're dating some other bitch. That's just for public. I was done. It could be heard in my voice as I said, whatever, Sean. Do what you need to do. Leave me alone. I'm never giving up on us, he cried. I responded to that emotional control attempt with the little resolve I could muster. I didn't even believe words that came tumbling out of his mouth. Sean, there is no us anymore. Goodbye. Tell Quincy I miss him. He threw out. His emotional manipulation was really driving me crazy. This time, I said with much more conviction, goodbye, Sean. I hung up. Manipulative bastard.